1,000-pound sisters. 1,000 pounds. Sister Tammy posted on her ID that she paid her respects by placing flowers on her grave and writing, "You have left us, but your place in our hearts will remain forever." Sister Tammy shed many tears on the anniversary of her ex-husband's passing and assured her sister Amy that she would never forget him. It's really depressing. Although the morning was meant to be routine, Tammy Slayton's day was anything but. She had learned to face the anniversary of her ex-husband Jacob's passing with tears, bravery, and her family's support. Tammy awoke sooner than normal. There was silence in the house, as like they understood the burden she bore in her heart. Even the birds outside appeared kinder. Her fingers traced the smooth surface of the picture frame she kept next to her bed as she gently sat up. There was a happy picture of Jacob inside, shot years before everything had changed so abruptly. "You big goof, I still miss you," she said in a quiet whisper. One tear trickled down her cheek, followed by another. 1,000 pounds. Sisters Tammy made no attempt to halt them. She didn't have to today. Amy shows up. About 9 in the morning, Amy knocked softly on the door and took a quick look inside. Tammy was sitting on the side of her bed with the picture in both hands when she found her. "Hey, sis," Amy replied gently, her voice full of affection. Tammy's eyes were red but honest as she looked up. Perhaps it wouldn't hurt as much this year, I thought. However, it doesn't. Amy immediately approached Tammy and put her arms around her shoulders. "It's acceptable to miss him. You cherished him. And affection. It doesn't simply disappear because time has gone by." Tammy tried to grin as she sniffed. "There are moments when I think that others want me to forget. But Amy, I can't. I won't." While holding her hand, Amy remarked, "No one who matters wants you to forget. Let's visit him together." The visit to the cemetery. The sisters drove to the small cemetery on the outskirts of town on a cool day with a peaceful, pale sky. Jacob's favorite flower, white lilies, were in the bouquet that Tammy delivered. Throughout the voyage, she kept them gently in her lap. Tammy remained silent when they arrived to his grave. She just dropped on her knees, laid the flowers at the base of the headstone, and shut her eyes. The huge oak tree nearby rustled its leaves as a breeze blew by them. "You have left us, but your place in our hearts will remain forever," Tammy finally said, placing her hand on the icy stone. At the final word, her voice broke, and Amy moved to stand next to her, placing a reassuring hand on her back. They stood there in silence, allowing memories, love, and pain to coexist. 1,000 pounds. Sisters, the heart-touching post. When Tammy got home later that night, she opened her phone and gazed at the picture she had shot of the lilies calmly resting against Jacob's grave. She made the decision to publish it. Her caption said, "Even though you are no longer with us, you will always hold a special place in our hearts. I shall always remember you. Even though today was difficult, it was worth every cry to remember you." Fans, friends, and complete strangers from all over the world left comments in a matter of minutes. Supportive messages poured across her feed. However, Tammy didn't post just to get attention. Her experience included grief, which is why she posted. She also felt less isolated after sharing it. A calm evening. Later, Amy returned with a slice of chocolate cake, garlic bread, and warm pasta, Tammy's favorite comfort food. While eating together on the couch, they watched old movies and giggled at their ridiculous moments. Tammy occasionally experienced that weight again, but Amy always gave her a hug or a joke to help her feel better. Amy remarked, "Jacob would have wanted you to laugh today as well." Tammy gave a nod. Yes, he truly would have. "Thank you, Amy," Tammy said in a whisper as the night grew quieter, "for being present, for everything." "Always," said Amy. "Forever sisters." Feeling both sad and at ease, Tammy closed her eyes. Not today, not ever would she forget Jacob. She understood, however, that she didn't have to face the world by herself with her sister at her side. But the sisters virtually let out a scream when Amy and Tammy got the email from TLC inviting them to film a special international episode in London. The packing panic starts. The first person to begin packing was Amy. Half of her closet had spilled across the bed. "Do you believe that Walmart is present in London, Tammy?" she shouted from the other side of the hall. Tammy giggled as she relaxed on her recliner. "First, concentrate on packing, girl. Not even your socks have been folded." Amy gave a dramatic eye roll. "I'm trying." However, how can I choose just one purse? What happens if the king or queen sees me? Tammy grinned. Amy, they won't be examining your purse. They will be wondering why we speak in such a humorous manner. The problem of mobility, Jess. Their nurse intervened with a clipboard. All right, girls, we need a strategy. The journey is lengthy. 1,000 pounds, sisters. We have to make sure you're comfortable and protected. Tammy gave a nod. Even though she was getting healthier after months of hard effort, traveling was still very important to her. With pride, she said, I'm not going to let any plane beat me. Jess made arrangements for extra oxygen tanks, a portable mobility scooter, particularly wide seats, and even a specially designed flight food plan. TLC said it will take care of the rest. Tammy whispered to Amy, they had better have some snacks. They will, Amy said with a wink. Glenn and Gage break into the packing party. Gage and Glenn, Amy's boys, rushed into the room wearing plastic crowns while she was still attempting to fold clothes. We also visit London, Gage yelled while brandishing a toy sword. Amy chuckled and took him in her arms. Baby, not this time. Mommy has to go to work. Yeah, she's going to be famous in another country now, Tammy teased. Amy gave Tammy a light pillow tap. You behave as though you won't go either. An elegant reception from TLC delivered a huge box to their home 2 days prior to the vacation. Within was coordinating travel tracksuits in navy and blue Amy's glittering passport holder. For Tammy, a dark purple one with the words Queen Tam Tam, London for Americans Who Get Lost Easily, is the title of the handbook. As soon as Tammy saw Amy's, she started giggling. Yours reads Snack Hunter Edition, Amy. Amy tried not to giggle as she remarked, TLC plays too much. The farewell dinner. The family got together for a large meal before departing. Mashed potatoes, grilled chicken, vegetables, and of course, Amy's renowned cheesy casserole were all on the table. Like a microphone, Chris lifted his fork. The Slayton sisters are crossing the pond, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be let down if they don't return talking British. 1,000 pounds, sisters, Tammy gave a dramatic clearing of her throat. With the worst accent she could manage, she said, Hello, governor. Everyone started giggling. Darlene, their mother, who was more likely to tease than to laud, appeared somewhat moved. You ladies are taking on a significant task. You have my admiration. Tammy's gaze grew softer. Under the table, Amy gripped her hand. The evening before to the flight, concerned that she might have overlooked something, Amy took one last look through her suitcase. Hey, Tammy, have you brought your adapter? That strange-looking plug? Tammy said. Jess put it in the front pocket while she was absorbed in watching YouTube videos of London cuisine. Amy abruptly fell onto her bed. I'm anxious. You feeling anxious? Tammy's eyebrow went up. I'm the one who has never spent that much time on an airplane. Amy let out a sigh. Yes, but we're working together. Tammy grinned broadly. You're absolutely correct. A fresh experience is awaiting. The realization of what was ahead struck them as they fell asleep. Buses with 2 decks, chips with fish, Big Ben. Perhaps even a selfie taken in a red phone booth. And above all, a new phase in their sisterly healing process. They would take a plane to London tomorrow, not only as reality stars, but also as 2 ladies who had shown they could take on any challenge or the suitcase together. But Amy Slayton woke up with a flutter of anxiety in her stomach, just as the sun had risen over Dixon, Kentucky. It wasn't a typical day. She and her sister Tammy had spent the entire month getting ready for weigh-in day. That day would determine whether the sisters could continue their protracted, emotional, and frequently tumultuous weight loss quest. With her 2 tiny boys, Glenn and Gage, sleeping soundly next to her, Amy stretched her arms and rolled out of bed. For a moment, she gazed at them. I'm doing this for this reason, she told herself. Her goal was to become the happiest and healthiest mother she could be. Tammy, meanwhile, was already up across town. Jessica, her new nurse, had assisted her in getting ready. As Tammy sat in her wheelchair, fumbling with her fingers, her oxygen machine buzzed softly next to her. 1,000 pounds, sisters, Tammy muttered, trying to sound assured. I ain't nervous. Jessica's eyebrows went up. Please, girl, like you're at a rock concert, your foot is trembling. Although she laughed, Tammy did not. As the sisters got into the van, the cameras followed them. Amy was sitting in the back with a little notebook in which she had recorded her workouts and meals. Sitting next to her, Tammy watched the world pass by through the window. Do you believe Dr. Smith will be pleased with us today? Amy inquired. Tammy gave a shrug. Well, I hope so. I didn't go hungry for nothing. Amy nudged her. You didn't go hungry, you simply consumed less pizza. Tammy grinned. The same thing. Tension was in the air as soon as they entered the clinic. Other patients, some of whom had seen them on the TLC show, sat in the waiting area. Some enthusiastically muttered, while others waved. Amy's turn came first. Amy entered the enormous digital scale. The numbers flashed, and she clamped her eyes shut. "All right, Amy," replied Dr. Smith with a kind smile. "Open your eyes." Amy saw, then let out a gasp. She was 22 pounds lighter. "Oh my God! Look, Tammy, I succeeded!" Amy jumped with excitement and yelled. Tammy gave a clap. "All right, girl, that's what I'm discussing." Dr. Smith gave a proud nod. "Amy, this is fantastic improvement. You'll be on target for your next milestone if you continue like Way." Amy felt emotionally and physically lighter. The workouts, the nutritious meals, the difficulties of raising 2 children alone, and all the late-night desires she had fought were all worthwhile. Tammy got on the bariatric scale by wheeling herself. She pretended not to notice the little trembling in her hands. The scale emitted a beep. The figures came up. 1,000 pounds. Sisters, Tammy stopped. She was 31 pounds lighter. She remained silent for a while. She simply gazed incredulously at the figure. "Is that correct?" Tammy muttered. "Definitely," answered Dr. Smith proudly. "This is amazing progress, Tammy. You ought to be quite pleased of yourself." Amy almost knocked her sister off balance when she raced over to give her a hug. "Girl, I told you. You're killing it." Tammy dabbed at a tear that she didn't want to acknowledge. She whispered, "For once, I feel like I'm doing something right." The sisters enjoyed the refreshing afternoon wind while sitting on a seat outside following the weigh-ins. Amy added, "You know, we've been through a lot. Battles, operations, births, and heartaches." "As well as food," Tammy said. "A ton of food." Amy chuckled. "Yes, but now take a look at us. We are changing. We're making an effort. And that is what counts." Tammy looked straight ahead, thinking, "Amy, I want to live longer. I want to improve my breathing. I want to walk once more. On my own." Amy touched Tammy's hand. "And you will. One step at a time. Together." Their family threw them a little celebration as a surprise when they got home. Healthy snacks, balloons, and a handcrafted banner with the following message. "Well done, Amy and Tammy." Gage rushed forward to embrace Amy's legs. "Are you happy, Mama?" Amy grinned. "Baby, I'm really happy." With her family by her side, Tammy experienced a feeling she hadn't had in a while. Hope. She was not alone on this voyage, even though it might not be simple. For the first time in years, she had faith in herself, her sister, and her family. Amy and Tammy were sitting on their porch swing together as the cameras rolled for the episode's last scene. "We're not finished yet," Tammy stated resolutely. Amy smiled. "Not even close." Knowing that their path, which had been full of obstacles, triumphs, and sisterly mayhem, was far from ended, they looked to the future together. But Amy Slayton's bedroom had drapes that let in a gentle stream of early sunlight. She woke up with a glimmer of hope for the first time in months. Even though her body still hurt from the operations, the emotional toll and the stress of being a mother and a reality star, today felt different. It seemed like something new was starting today. Little Gage and Glenn, who were already awake and prepared to face the world, were chattering noisily across the hall, 1,000-pound sisters. When Amy heard their voices, she grinned. Her recovery was now for her boys, her future, and her freedom, not just for herself, the beginning of something novel. After months of recuperation, Amy was still getting used to her new body when she stumbled into the kitchen. Tammy sat at the table, holding her iPad in one hand and a smoothie in the other. Although her tone was one of sincere pride, Tammy taunted, "Girl, look at you walking around like a whole new person." "I'm trying," Amy said with a laugh. "The doctor advises me to continue moving." "No lounging about like a potato." Tammy grinned. "You were never a potato, please. More akin to a soft marshmallow." Amy tossed her a napkin. They were jovial, playful, and affectionate in this way. The special program of Dr. Collins. The sisters took a car to Dr. Collins' clinic a week later. For Amy, he had designed a unique healing renewal program that included physical therapy, counseling, and meal planning. "Your body is healing, Amy," Dr. Collins stated kindly. "However, we now concentrate on your intellect, fortitude, and self-assurance." Amy's eyes pricked with tears. "I'm prepared. I want to make a permanent change." He gave a nod. "All right, let's get started." Examining the past, Healing was more than just working out. Amy had to face the emotional scars she had carried for years, including the agony of broken relationships, stress, heartbreak, and the demands of being a public figure. She discussed feeling criticized, unworthy, and weary of constantly being the strong one in her therapy sessions. She had a total breakdown one day. She sobbed, "Without taking care of everyone, I don't know who I am." "Then this is your time to learn who Amy is," her therapist said gently. Tammy turns into the supporter. Unexpectedly, Tammy ended up being Amy's strongest ally during the trip. They went for a walk around the block every evening. When Amy was fatigued, Tammy would push her, cheer her up, and crack jokes. With a dramatic wave of her arms, Tammy would proclaim, "You ain't quitting." "We endured all of this, and you gave up at the first sidewalk." Amy laughed so much that she occasionally forgot how hurt she was. They became closer than before. Moments of failure. It wasn't simple to heal. Some days, Amy would wake up feeling worn out. Her scars stung for days. She had days when she wanted to give up. She said, "Maybe I'll never be the old Amy again," while sitting by herself on the couch one evening. Silently, Tammy entered and wrapped her arm around her shoulders. "You shouldn't be the previous Amy. The new one is meant to be you." 1,000-pound sisters, Amy gave her a strong hug. The moment of change months went by. Amy gradually gained emotional and physical strength. She began preparing more nutritious meals. She engaged her boys in more active play. She even joined a tiny support group for mothers recovering from surgery to lose weight. She eventually uttered the following during a meeting: "I'm pleased with myself." She had never really believed it before. A fresh start. A special program called Amy's Healing Journey was filmed by TLC. The team documented her therapy sessions, walks with Tammy, happy and difficult times, and most significantly, her transformation. In the last scene, Amy was standing in her backyard with her boys running around her and the wind softly playing through her hair. She stated on camera, "I'm not done healing. However, I'm hopeful for the first time in my life." And that's sufficient. Hi there, lovely viewers. Welcome to my channel. My name is Mina. I hope you're having a great day. Remember to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video.